Following the tragedy that took place in Nashville, where 6 people lost their lives, 3 of them being children, the Democrats decided that the person who committed that atrocious act was actually a victim, staged a protest where they stormed the Capitol in Nashville, and several lawmakers, Democrats, joined in. Well, the 2 Democrats that were expelled have been reinstated, and now we have video showing this Democrat attacking people in their cars. Now, I want to be completely clear. The best part of this video, in my opinion, is not this Democrat attacking motorists unprovoked. It's the person who pretends to get hit by the car and then rolls around on the ground, because that's what these people are. They are liars. They are deceivers. They are violent. They are terrorists. And they're in government. Said it before and I'll say it again. Back in 2018, I warned people with the street violence we had been seeing, it would eventually reach the seats of government. And I had people constantly say to me, it will never happen, not gonna, Antifa and the Proud Boys fighting in the streets is not gonna lead to any kind of civil war. And I said, it's just simple. What happens when these people inherit the seats of power? And that's right, inherit, because it's handed to them by Democrats. So this is where we are. I think people genuinely don't understand generational shift, right? I think about this all the time. You are a young teenager and you dream of one day working in music. So you pursue that dream. You go to school, or you've been working at a club or a venue. Let's say you work at a venue and then or a studio. You become an intern at a studio and you're grabbing coffees. You're hanging out with the people who run the place. Eventually, they ask you to do more and more. You learn more and more. And by the time you're 20, you're actually working in the studio as an actual job with a salary. By the time you're 25, you're actually assisting in studio production. And by the time you're 35, you're now a manager. By the time you're 40, you're running the studio. You're widely connected. You've inherited that power simply by virtue of standing there. But that's how it works. It's really simple. Now, don't get me wrong. Throughout the years, that hard work that you do pays off, because if at any point you give up, as Andrew Tate says, the rocket going to the moon doesn't stop halfway and take a break. So it is hard work, but it's perseverance. What we see here with these Democrats, they're violent terrorists. They attack people, but that shows they are more willing to do whatever it takes to rip power from its core and wield it against innocent people. Because it's not just this video about the Democrat attacking people. Let me see if I can pull up this one. Oh, I love this story. The Other Expelled lawmaker, his transformation goes viral. That's right. Here he is. Here he is again. For those that are just listening, let me explain. In the first picture, some of you may have seen this already. He is a normal-looking dude wearing a suit, and he says, I want to bring together different voices. Seems like he's trying to channel his inner Obama. And then on the bottom, you can see where he is now, where he talks like this. We got to change. I'm not kidding. He actually talks like that. I got a video of you. For some reason, he's adopted a fake persona because he's evil. They are narcissistic sociopaths. Now, there's different things that bring these people together. But I'm telling you right now, the core of what they seek is power and to wield it against you. So let's start with the story about the Democrats being violent terrorists. Before we get started, my friends, head over to timcast.com. Click that join us button, become a member by doing so, and get access to our Discord server where you can hang out with like-minded individuals and check out our uncensored members-only shows Monday through Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, about 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you're a member for at least 6 months or you sign up at the $25 level, you can actually call into the show and talk to us and our guests. Let's read this story from the Post-Millennial. Video shows reinstated Tennessee State Rep Justin Jones stopping cars and assaulting drivers in summer of 2020. Oh boy. Footage has unearthed of disgraced Tennessee State Representative Justin Jones stopping cars and assaulting drivers during summer protests outside the state capitol in 2020. Jones had claimed at the time the narrative was that he was violent was false. The footage proves otherwise. Look at, he tweeted this. They will try to push a false narrative portraying me as violent as a way to deflect from their own actions. They will suggest that I am out of order. That is their strategy. However, I'm hopeful for the chance to present our evidence in a transparent manner. Well, there's a video of it. The dude and a group of other random psychopaths stop a bunch of vehicles, and when the vehicle slowly tries to turn to pull away, he hits them with a street cone. My favorite part is this person right here in the neon gets bumped by this car and then just waves their arms in the air and falls on the ground, starts rolling around. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I just can't with these people. Let's see if I play this video. Traffic cone incident. Oh geez. Oh geez. So let me jump ahead. I want to show you the funniest part. So I don't want to make it seem like this dude was mercilessly beating someone with a cone. He's like prodding them with it because they're trying to drive. Yeah, that's called assault. That's called attacking people. Look, they're surrounding this guy's truck. He's probably like, yo, what are you doing? This is not a protest. Here's the best part. Wait for it. There it goes. Okay. The car is, this sedan is going like 3 miles an hour. And it bumps the person who then pretends like, oh no, I've fallen. I've been hit by a car. I can't get up. Dude. Oh, man. And now they're laying sprawled out with their arms in the air. These people are psychopathic narcissists. They are pulling that soccer injury. Oh, I've been hurt. You know, you want to know something horrifying? Can I say something truly horrifying? And I'll just say trigger warning. Some people may not want to hear this stuff, so you've been warned. I have seen gruesome and graphic injury. I have seen horrifying injuries. I'm sure many of you have. Let's start with the lightest. I've been at skate parks and seen people splinter their legs. And do you know what they do right away? They try standing up. They don't flop on the ground and go. No, I've seen people try to ollie a big gap on a skateboard, jump a big stair set or something, land, snap their leg, and then immediately stand up and then fall over. I've seen MMA fighters. There's one video where a guy kicks, their shins collide, and his leg splits. And then he goes back and tries to stand on it and falls over. It's crazy. And these people, this morbidly obese individual who got bumped goes, whoa! Why do we play this game? You know, I got to be honest, everybody. Let me ask you all a question, and you can answer in the comments. Legitimately ask you this question. First thing I'll say is I think we're headed towards despotism. I think we're headed towards some kind of authoritarian regime, and I'm not convinced it's the apocalypse. When you take a look, let me explain, and I'll get your thoughts on this one. When you take a look at videos like this, what I fear are these people. These people don't believe in logic. They don't believe in justice. They believe in stealing power to destroy you and cause you pain and suffering. They will lie, cheat, and steal in any manner to get it. In the inverse, we seek someone such as a Cincinnatus or George Washington type, who would take the reins of power begrudgingly, use it to cleanse the system, and then immediately give those powers up. That's why I believe that it will be inevitable that we will find ourselves in some kind of despotic or authoritarian regime. The question is, will it be good or will it be bad? Now, I know libertarians and those who believe in decentralized government are all screaming, of course it's bad, Tim, of course it's bad. So here's my question. If Donald Trump were to get elected in 2024 and he said, the first thing I will be doing is enacting Schedule F. We're going to fire every single one of these bureaucrats and make America great again. Well, obviously I'm for that. And a lot of people are for that, but the left would call that despotic. Now, hold on. I know you may be saying, Tim, firing people isn't authoritarian. They should be fired. In fact, that's weakening government. Okay. Which brings me to the main point. What if Donald Trump gets in and immediately instructs his AG to begin the mass arresting of politicians like this? Taking this video and saying, federal crime, send in the U.S. federal attorneys to indict and charge him for these things. The attack on a state capitol. What if Trump just said, we will arrest all of them? What if Donald Trump went to Congress and every single member of Congress who was engaged in insider trading, he just said, you're being arrested, and arrests like 276 members of Congress? History books would not be too kind. They'd say, oh no, he's purging government. But what do you think? Is it a bad thing? And that's the interesting and scary point. The problem is we don't trust that someone who's given such power would ever relinquish it. And therein lies the bigger challenge. There seems to be no decentralized path into getting rid of the corruption. There needs to be law enforcement action. And so I think of it this way. It's like, let's call it a congressectomy or a bureaucrectomy. Bureaucrectomy. I don't know how you'd say that. We need to excise the corruption. But the corruption has grown so great, any actions to do so will be seen like authoritarian, a coup, a takeover. So what do? If the corruption is metastasized to the point where it takes 2/3 of government or more, and then someone like Trump comes in and starts firing and removing all of these people, it'll look like a purge of U.S. government. However, is it a bad thing? I'm not going to pretend to have the absolute knowledge to determine whether or not this would result in a positive or a negative for this country in the long run. Trump gets in power and does these things. Maybe the power is never relinquished, and then we end up with the American empire for the next 200 years. I don't know. What I can certainly tell you is that in the short term, if Donald Trump were to get elected and then start arresting a lot of these people in government insider trading, I think it'd be a good thing. Absolutely. It would benefit this country. It would purge and cleanse, removing the corruption. This is what we're looking at right now. And this is where you can see the degree of corruption is going. These terrorists and far left extremists who attack people in the streets are now sitting in seats of government. And I warned this would happen, and now it's happening. I want to show you this story. You can take a look at the degree of corruption we are seeing, the absolute corruption of the system. You can see in this video, let me see if they have I wonder if they have the video of the juxtaposition of his fake character, his persona. This is the evil you must be warned of. The charismatic character who creates a fake persona. Now, I'll tell you this. You may not like Donald Trump. That's fine. A lot of people don't like him. But his character certainly ain't fake. That's it. Donald Trump is who he is. Let me see if this video, if they have this video on the New York Post. Let me see. All right, we'll put the audio on, and I will grab my headphones, and then you can hear for yourself. Here we go. Let's play this one.
Jay Pearson, and I'm running for president of BSG. There are a few reasons that we're running this campaign this year. One has to do with representation. How can we represent all voices in a conversation? I wanted to do this by partnering with organizations from the Bowdoin Democrats to the Bowdoin Republicans. I want to bring together different voices, dissenting voices, voices that may be more liberal or more conservative.
So in other words, he's playing this, I'm a moderate centrist.
In order that we can reach a point of sort of the radical middle where conversation and dialogue happens and growth happens. Right now, we have tensions on our campus that can only be resolved by understanding one another. And creating those forums and those spaces will be a part of the legacy I hope to lead as the BSG president.
There's a couple of ways to look at this. He's either always been a deeply evil individual, and this was his act, putting on the Obama-style moderate, we can bring people together. We will change this world for the better. United, we will stand strong. Maybe it didn't work. Or maybe he was radicalized. I don't know, because you're not going to believe this.
I believe it is a vision of people who've been ostracized coming to the well. I see white folk and black folk. I see queer folk and straight folk. I see rich folk and poor folk coming from the back to the well of demanding justice right now. Not tomorrow, but right now. Justice right now. It is this movement that's going to change this country. It's this movement, in this moment in time, that's going to change the country. And I'm so glad. Oh, I'm so glad. Yes, I'm glad. Oh, I'm glad. Yes, I'm glad. I'm so glad.
Anyway, I think you get the point. The dude's accent is fake. His style of speaking is fake. Everything he is doing is an act, an effort to generate support because he wanted power the whole time. You can't trust these politicians, man. You just can't. I don't trust anyone who wants to be in office. And that's why it's like you get someone like Ron Paul, and I'm like, wow, they do exist. The unicorns of government who go in, say, screw off. No, we're not doing it. No. Doctor, no, they called him. That was amazing. Ron Paul's a legend. I thought we had something like that in Bernie Sanders, but boy, was I wrong. Ron Paul, to this day, 87 years old, still advocates for the exact same things. And I should say mostly for the same things. Obviously, the dude's views evolve with understanding the news around him and things like that. But for the most part, he's saying sound currency, no wars, no to big government, all that stuff. You take a look at these people. This guy is as plastic and as evil can be. Much like Dylan Mulvaney over there on the right. You know, we'll get into that later, I suppose. But this is the current state of American politics. And I warned that this would happen. Because there's money to be made. There's power to be gained from doing these things. And these people are the next generation who will rise up and be active in politics. Not to mention, let's be real, Barack Obama and his support for like Bill Ayers and all that stuff. It's been in the pipeline and should be plainly obvious to anyone. New Yorkers flee over taxes, housing prices. The city literally spits us out. I'm going to do a longer segment on this later, but here's the point that I want to make. I think things are good. Right? I know things are bad. I know there's an escalation, but I got to be honest. I think we're heading in a good direction in the end. Now, don't get me wrong. Bad things are yet to come. Psychopaths are taking the seats of power, but we're aware of it, right? The issue is that as more and more of this absurdity expands, the more we begin paying attention. And last night we had Jesse Kelly on the show, and he said that for the first time, his neighbors who don't care about anything were in the culture war. Why? Budweiser. So I don't want to get into all the Budweiser stuff all over again, but I just want to say this. They can only push too far before they snap people to attention. With the destruction that's happening in our cities, people being forced to flee, crime skyrocketing, police being defunded, homeless camps everywhere, the economy in ruins, it is inevitable that they destroy themselves. I think about Ebola, the Ebola virus, like liquefies your insides or something like that. I don't know. Crazy, scary. I remember when there was an Ebola outbreak in Africa. I can't remember which country it was. And there was fear that Ebola would spread to the United States and then everyone would get it. And we'd be like, oh no, a major pandemic with like an 80% mortality rate. Now, surprise, surprise, that doesn't happen. Why? For the same reason there's no zombie apocalypse, much to the chagrin of those who deeply wish there was. Transmission of viruses, such as like a zombie plague, is extremely difficult. Like transferring a zombie virus through biting is the worst way to transmit a virus. Seriously. The scary thing is like aerosolized virus, right? And so what happens with something like Ebola, or in the more fictional sense, the zombie virus, the rage virus, is that the extreme degree to which a person is affected results in a rapid response from other people. If someone starts vomiting up blood, everyone's going to stay away from that person. This inhibits the virus's ability to transmit itself. The best viruses are the ones that move slowly and have limited symptoms, because someone will get sick, not really feel all that bad, and then go around giving other people the virus. What I mean to say is this. As the far left expands in its quest for power, they create such damage to the entire system that it makes people angrier and angrier, to the point where now people like Bill Maher are finally coming out and being like, yo, something's going wrong here. When you see a video of a Democrat attacking motorists, it's like, okay, dude, look, it's possible that we have an illness and we have let it metastasize to a degree where the system will come crashing down. But I do not believe that's possible. What I think is more likely to happen is that we do have an illness. It has gotten to the point where the fever will begin soon. I don't know in what form that will manifest, but regular people are going to see stuff like this and they're going to get angry. And then you're going to see a more serious response. I think you're going to see people saying no to this. And we've already got in the past week or so, 2 Democrats at the state level switching to becoming Republicans, one in North Carolina and one in Louisiana, saying outright, like, I don't want to be involved in whatever this is. But they're doing it for one reason. The terrorist psychopaths who are taking power are scaring people. And those people are saying, I don't want this. I just want to put my kid in school. Now, I'll tell you what, boy, did they make a big mistake going after beer. That snapped people to attention. I'll tell you what, that's why I'm so excited about the Anheuser-Busch thing. And there's more news a-coming on the Anheuser-Busch front, which we'll have coming up soon. And we'll have to talk to our good friend Joe Rogan about his cracking a Bud Light for what purpose. No, The times they are a-changin'. Regular people are being forced into the fray when you see this kind of stuff. And it comes in two forms we're seeing right now before us. The violent, psychotic, terrorist extremist who would attack a motorist getting elected, and the guy pretending to be some kind of preacher. I love this. Look at this one. Look at he's wearing. It's so insane. This is what a narcissistic sociopath looks like. This is what the face of evil looks like. Demonic. Now, I don't see demonic in the literal sense like many of you may when you're referring to quite literal demons. I'm saying it's demonic in the figurative sense. It is the grin of evil saying, give me power. Yeah, these people are dangerous psychopaths. But you know what the problem is? There's that old quote that says, I'll paraphrase it. You know, one of the challenges we face is that the ignorant are so full of confidence and the capable and apt are so full of doubt. You probably know the full quote, but the general idea is those who know or are those who are capable, they doubt themselves. That's why they are capable, because they seek to improve. And those who are ignorant think they're the best, and thus they have the confidence. What I see here is a similar aspect in politics. You could probably name a handful of people who probably should be in office, should be running for government, but refuse to do it and don't want to do it. Instead, what will happen is, so long as those people say, I will not lead, I will not be in government, you will get deranged, narcissistic sociopaths like this individual who feign this persona to seize power. And that's the unfortunate reality, because there's only like 5 people in government who should actually be there. I suppose we'll see how things turn out in the long run, but for the time being, I think we're actually going to recover from this because this kind of evil cannot persist. But again, we'll see. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 1 p.m. on this channel. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all then.